When we picture ancient Rome, we think of grand temples, gladiatorial games, and mighty legions marching across the world. But there is another image that captures Roman life just as vividly: the baths. These vast complexes of marble, mosaics, and steaming pools were not just places to get clean, they were symbols of Roman identity, spaces of luxury, and vital social hubs. To step into a Roman bath was to step into the heart of Roman culture. But were these baths simply ancient spas of indulgence? Or were they something far more essential to Roman society? Bathing was not a casual activity for the Romans. It was a daily ritual, one that blended hygiene, relaxation, and community. Even the humblest citizens could enjoy the experience. Public baths, or thermae, were built throughout the empire, often funded by emperors or wealthy elites eager to display their generosity. For just a small fee, or sometimes for free, Romans of nearly every class could spend hours inside these facilities. The scale and accessibility of the baths made them unique in the ancient world. At first, Roman bathing habits were simple. Early Romans bathed at home, using small basins and olive oil to clean their skin. But as the empire expanded, they encountered the Greek tradition of communal bathing and adopted it with their own twist. By the height of the empire, baths had become monumental structures, sometimes covering acres of land. The baths of Caracalla in Rome could accommodate thousands of visitors at once, featuring soaring vaulted ceilings, heated floors, and intricate mosaics. They were feats of engineering and artistry, testaments to the empire's wealth and power. The typical bath complex included several distinct rooms. Visitors began in the apoditerium, or changing room, where they left their clothes. From there, they could move to the frigidarium, a cold plunge pool that refreshed the body. The tepidarium offered a warm environment to relax and prepare for the heat ahead. Finally, the caldarium, a hot, steamy room, provided intense heat much like a sauna. Furnaces called hypocausts heated the floors and walls, an ingenious Roman innovation that spread warmth evenly through the spaces. But the baths were more than just pools and steam rooms. They were complete leisure centers. Many complexes included gymnasiums for exercise, gardens for strolling, libraries for reading, and lecture halls for philosophy or political discussion. Vendors sold snacks, masseurs offered oil rubs, and barbers worked on grooming. The baths brought together aspects of health, recreation, and intellect in one place. For Romans, they were not simply about hygiene, they were about lifestyle. This raises the question: were the baths a luxury for the elite or a social hub for the masses? In truth, they were both. Emperors and senators frequented the baths, enjoying the opulence and displaying their wealth through private bathing rooms or extravagant decorations. At the same time, ordinary citizens, merchants, craftsmen, even slaves used the public sections. Social boundaries blurred in the baths, where rich and poor shared the same waters. It was one of the few places in Roman life where class divisions softened, at least temporarily. Still, not everyone approved. Some moralists criticized the baths as decadent, encouraging idleness and luxury. Writers like Seneca complained that the noise of bathhouses' shouts, splashing, the calls of vendors was overwhelming. Others worried that mixed bathing, where men and women sometimes shared the same spaces, promoted immorality. Despite these criticisms, the baths remained immensely popular, and emperors who built them earned lasting admiration. The baths also reflected Rome's mastery of engineering. Aqueducts carried water from distant sources into the city, supplying the constant flow needed for the pools. The hypocaust system, with its raised floors and hot air circulation, kept rooms at precise temperatures. Building and maintaining such complexes required enormous resources, yet the empire ensured that citizens across Rome and its provinces could enjoy them. Archaeological remains of Roman baths have been found from Britain to North Africa, evidence of their widespread importance. Beyond comfort and cleanliness, the baths played a vital role. In Roman health, bathing was believed to balance the body's humors, a central idea in ancient medicine. Doctors often prescribed visits to the baths as treatments for various ailments. The combination of exercise, heat, massage, and social interaction provided both physical and mental benefits. While their understanding of health was different from ours, the Romans intuitively grasped the value of relaxation and self-care for the community. Baths were also centers of connection. Deals were struck, friendships formed, and political alliances reinforced within their walls. Philosophers and teachers often lectured there, turning the baths into classrooms as much as spas. Gossip flowed as freely as water, and in an empire so vast, the baths offered a space where citizens felt part of a collective identity. Yet the baths also reflected the darker side of empire. Their grandeur was funded by conquest, taxes, and slave labor. The heated rooms required massive amounts of firewood, contributing to deforestation. Maintaining aqueducts and furnaces was costly, and when the empire declined, many baths fell into ruin. What had once symbolized prosperity became empty shells, reminders of a lost golden age. Despite their eventual decline, the legacy of Roman baths endures. Modern spas, public pools, and even the culture of wellness trace their roots to these ancient complexes. The very idea of bathing as a social and restorative activity comes from Rome. While most ancient civilizations saw bathing as private or ritualistic, the Romans made it communal and central to daily life. So were the Roman baths simply ancient luxuries, indulgences for a decadent society? Or were they vital social hubs, spaces where health, community, and culture thrived? The answer lies in their dual nature. They were luxurious, certainly magnificent in scale and decoration, symbols of wealth and empire. But they were also profoundly social, binding Romans together in shared rituals that crossed class and status. They were places where the empire felt alive, buzzing with voices, laughter, and the splash of water. To walk through the ruins of the baths of Caracalla or Diocletian today is to glimpse the grandeur of a civilization that believed bathing was not just about the body, but about the spirit of community. The Romans understood that water could cleanse more than skin, it could connect people, foster identity, and even symbolize the strength of an empire. In the end, the baths were both luxury and social hub. They were indulgent, yes, but also essential. They reflected Rome's greatness and its contradictions, its brilliance and its excess. And even now, 2,000 years later, they remind us that cleanliness, relaxation, and community are timeless human desires. The Romans simply perfected them on a scale the world had never seen before.